Hello, sunshiny people. I am back with my open window to my studio, just like I do on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so today I opened it up like I always do, just to do some more stitching on connected. I am getting closer, I swear to God, I'm getting closer. I'm into the white now at this point, which is fabulous because that means that's the home stretch. I chose white as the last color to stitch for this piece. So I'm going to do some more work on that today while we hang out here together and let you peek into the window of my studio. And today I just thought I'm going to talk a little bit about making the invisible visible and the intangible tangible. Because the other day I had this little aha moment that I realized that the work I do, which is creating feelings out of fiber, as an artist, and my primary method of creating feelings out of fiber actually is doing that. I'm trying to make the invisible visible and the intangible tangible. So I thought I'd explore that out loud, kind of a thinking out loud, sharing with you sort of thing while we're sitting here, with you guys, visiting with me via the screen. So we'll hang out 15, 20, 30 minutes, depends on how long I feel like I need to chat, and we'll go from there. As always, just FYI, I am still open to virtual coffees or cocktails. So if you're interested in that too, drop me a note in the comments below. And if you want to know more about me and my art, I will also put the link to that in the website, but that's hilaryclark.com with one L. So HILARYCLARK.com. And you can check out more of my art there. So anyway, I'm going to get stitching, and then I'm going to start talking about making the invisible visible. So, all right, I'm going to pick you up. I always like to warn you, don't like to get dizzy, and we'll get you situated. So. Yep, you can see me, you can see the sewing machine. I may turn on another light just because it's a little glary today. Where's my thing? I got a remote. Does that help? Not really. Well, I'm turning it on anyway. I need my glasses because I'm old. Aren't we all? Better than the alternative. Anywho, all right. So, like I said, I am working on the white portion finally for connected. So I am getting, this is the home stretch. I still have quite a bit of white to stitch, but if you've watched any of these before and you've heard me kind of bitch about stitching on black, I was happy to discover that stitching on white is not the same pain in the ass. I can actually see the thread against the fabric, which is really helpful because that means I can stitch a little bit faster than I could with the black. The black I had to go really slow to kind of see where I was and if I was stitching over a line I'd already stitched, which is not what I wanted to do. So the white I can go a little faster, but since I stitch these sort of smaller spaces that have curves to them, I can't go like lightning speed. There's no Speedy Gonzalez type stitching here. Because if I was going a straight stretch all the way across 3 feet or something, I could really haul ass, but that's not going to happen today. So anyway, but like I said, it's improving because I can do the, because I can stitch across the white, so it is easier to do. But anyway, so what I wanted to talk to you today, while I'm again sort of thinking out loud here in this window of my studio, is how creativity is truly the art of making the invisible visible and the intangible tangible, right? And so my work, creating feelings out of fiber, it's really, that's really what I'm trying to do, right? I'm trying to take what it feels like with this piece to feel connected, and I'm trying to represent that with this abstract textured fiber painting, so that people can look at it and maybe, and understand what it, and have a better understanding, I guess, of what it feels to be connected and what it really means. And like the piece, oh, my camera's not positioned today, but it's companion piece, Isolated, similar thing, to feel isolated. What does that, what would one imagine that to feel like? And that's what I'm doing. So I'm taking these very, intangible things that we call emotion, and the thoughts behind them, and trying to create, or trying to turn them into these visual objects that allow people to better connect to their own feelings. And I think all art does that. I think regardless of your medium, whether you're working in fiber like I do, or you are a musician, like several of some good friends I have, or you are somebody like my brother's favorite filmmaker, Stanley Kubrick, or you are a painter or a drawer or a singer, any other art form. I think ultimately what you're trying to do when you're practicing your particular form of creativity is you're trying to make something that you can visualize in your mind, so it's visible to you in your head, but it's not necessarily visible to those outside of you until you create your art. And depending on what it is, if it's like a fiber piece, then it becomes something tangible you can touch. If it's a piece of music, it becomes tangible in the sense that it's something that you can now hear, and then it evokes emotion that then leads to something else and some other processing of an intangible, and creating the tangibility to it. Is tangibility a word? Don't know, don't care. I'm making stuff up. That's what I do, right? As an artist, don't we just make stuff up? So I'm going to make up words too. And if I do make a board, I come by it honestly. My grandfather made up a word. Did not make the dictionary, but made up a word. So that's what I, like I said, I mean, I don't know that I have a heck of a lot to say about it, but I sort of was thinking about this idea the other day about, like, I don't know about you, but I often contemplate my purpose and my calling. I've done it numerous times over my life. I think it's a never-ending journey. I think it's part of why we're put on this planet, why we choose to live a human existence, to sort of contemplate what our purpose is, what is our calling, what are we really here for, what are we here to learn, what are we here to share. And for me, my purpose, I've realized, is kind of what came through from the universe was that I'm here to be an example to others. And I don't really know what that means, but it's sort of like just kind of always get up when you fall down and keep going. Because I've done a lot of that in my lifetime. Where I've made a lot of, as we all do, I've made a ton of mistakes. I've had a number of really epic failures. And I still got up and kept going and whatnot. And the act of building a business is something that can be an example to others. Because it takes a lot of courage in the face of fear to keep going. But that's apparently what my purpose is, at least most recently. That's what's come through recently, and that's what I'm getting now and what I'm working towards. But my calling is to do this thing where, with my art, to make the invisible visible and to bring it to light. And so, it's caused me to really kind of ponder this over the course of the last couple of days, ever since that sort of came through, as I consider other ways to do it, and consider other ways that others do it. So I was listening to a podcast this morning as I was getting, after I finished my workout routine and was getting myself kind of cleaned up and tidy so that I didn't have bedhead for you today. I didn't gel my hair today. I'm experimenting with it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it because I'm growing it out, so who knows what the hell I'm going to do with it. But anyways, as I was getting organized this morning, I'm listening to a podcast by another artist, and she does some art coaching and things like that I don't do. I have released all coaching, I've released all training. It doesn't mean that I won't have options where people could hang out with me as a paid offering to maybe create together. You create what you want to create, I'll create what I want to create, but we'll hang out and we'll talk it through and kind of work together, kind of mastermind it. I might do something like that, but anyway, this podcast, the episode I was listening to today was about basically activism in art. And I think ultimately, and it got me pondering about how art activists or artists who choose to create activist work or use art as their medium to be an activist are also doing, again, art, trying to make the invisible visible. They're trying to shed more light on whatever the hot topic of the day is. And right now, of course, it's this virus, it's racism, it's systemic racism, it's white privilege, it's all of these things that are all over the news these days. But it's been going on since cavemen started drawing stuff in caves, right? An artist is trying to make a statement about something. And by making that statement, by creating that piece of art that makes that statement, they're trying to make that invisible thought or feeling that they have visible. So it's just, I just think that makes it fun. I think the fact that I'm an artist doing that kind of work, you know, being part of this, being part of an effort to make the invisible visible and the intangible tangible is really freaking cool. And it's got an added layer of cool for me because I have always loved magic. Like, I believe in magic, and I'm not talking like David Copperfield stand on the stage magician. I'm talking like Harry Potter magic. I'm talking about, I just finished watching 4 seasons of a show that I guess was on Sci-Fi called The Magicians, and now I'm anxious for the 5th season that won't drop until like late this year. But anyway, I'm talking about the kind of magic that actually can like create and change worlds, and you know, not just spells and hexes and magic tricks. I'm talking about the stuff that really makes epic change. And I think art can do that. And I think this act of I keep saying it, of making the invisible visible and the intangible tangible is an act of magic. And I really think that's why this thing, when it dropped in my down, you know, when the universe and my intuition said, here, this is your calling to make the invisible visible. I think the reason it really kind of clicked and resonated is because I realized that it is this act of magic. And, you know, and I love the fact that I get to share that with you. I get to share it through the work I create. I get to share it through the conversations I have here in these Facebook Lives. I get to share it in conversations I might have over a virtual coffee or cocktail with somebody, where we're catching up and talking about what's going on in our own individual lives, or what's going on in the world, or any of that. I just think it's really fun that I have this opportunity to share it, and that this is part of what I'm here for. Others are here to do it in a different way. Some are here to do it through sharing their personal growth journey, through their sharing the mistakes or the journey they've been on. I shouldn't say mistakes, because there's really no such thing as a mistake. They're all lessons. Everything is a lesson to learn. But I think others help to bring visibility to like our growth from watching their growth. I think that's a gift. I think that's magic too. But I'm curious, you know, if you're watching this, I'd love if you dropped a comment below about what are your thoughts about, you know, what do you think about what do you think that you do that potentially makes the invisible visible? Is there something that you do that helps to change? Because ultimately, like, your actions for whatever it is you do, right, however you're acting, can have an impact on others, which then can create it creates a visible response by somebody else's behavior potentially, right? And so, of course, that means it can swing all ways. It's not always good, it's not always bad, but what is it that you do that might be contributing to make the invisible visible, and then ultimately maybe changing you or someone else or the planet for good, right? Isn't that cool? Isn't that neat to think about it that way? I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I love the idea, like I said, of making magic, of being magic, and creating my art, creating feelings out of fiber to make them, to produce them as an item of art that you can look at and see and go, okay, that thing's named connected, or that thing is named passionate. That textured fiber painting over there is named impulsive. And to look at it and go, oh, you know, do you connect to it? Does it help you to feel that same feeling too? And if it does, then I've done a good job, because it means that I helped give visibility to that feeling. So, and again, I just think that's magic. So that's kind of all I wanted to just sort of chat about today. That, you know, I think it is kind of my calling to create feelings out of fiber, to make the invisible visible, to make the intangible tangible. And I'm having a hell of a fun time doing it. So, other than that, I said this a little bit already, but I'll say it again. I'm always up for virtual coffee or cocktails. If you're interested in that too, drop a comment or drop me a note in the comments. And if you want to know more about me and my art, you can visit my website, and I'll put the link in in the comments too, but I'll also say it here. It's hilaryclark.com with one L, HILARYCLARK. And that's pretty much all I've got for you today. So I'm gonna pick up my iPad and bring it a little bit closer just so I can hit end. Because I can't, there's no remote for my iPad. But I'm gonna keep sewing, and we're just gonna call this video good for today. I hope you go off to make some magic too today, in whatever it is that you do and however it is you behave. I hope that in your thoughts and feelings and actions that you create some magic both for yourself and for somebody else too. It isn't just art, it isn't just creativity. There's magic in everything, and I'd love to know what kind of magic you're creating. So, like I said, I'll pick it up and call it a day, and have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye-bye.